Hello folks, I'm speaking to you today for perhaps the last time from behind the wheel of my little 𝘼𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 electric. Actually not the last time, because I'm about to film a video for 𝑘𝑎RISTA in here, checking out the new 𝑘𝑎RISTA device. However, this car is going, it is going to be sold. I have had about 4 people contact me that watched the previous video that are interested in the car. 2 of them got to the point where we actually had a time they were coming to see the car and all the rest of that, and then suddenly at the last minute they decided to buy like a Range Rover or something. I'm not quite sure. Sometimes people mess you about, sometimes it's genuine, but it is what it is. But it's Monday at the moment, and I dare say probably by the end of this week this car will more than likely be gone. Now, people always say, you know, genuine reason for sale and all that kind of stuff in car adverts, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's just, what's the genuine reason for sale? I wanted a different one. All right. Well, there are a few reasons why I've decided to get a new car, and I'm going to show you that new car in a minute. I'm not going to keep you in suspenders for too long. First one is, I really wanted something that I could make some more content with, because I feel like I've made as much content as I can with this without people getting completely sick of it. I could have done some long road trips in it or something, but it's not that kind of car, and I feel like it would just be making videos for the sake of making videos. I don't think there'd be anything massively interesting about it. And there's also another car that I've wanted for a long time. It is one that I've reviewed on the channel before, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I mean, that narrows it down to probably 10 cars that I've absolutely lusted after. But the deal that I was able to get on this car is absolutely unbelievable. And when I say unbelievable, I mean unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you about that deal in another video, because it's so crazy and it's so worthy of an amazing thumbnail. And it's so unbelievable that it has to stand on its own, all right? So I'm going to, that video will probably come out tomorrow or something, so I'm not going to keep you waiting for ages, but it is an exceptional deal. Now, with my last couple of cars, I would have leased if I could, and that hasn't been possible because of my setting up a new business, being self-employed for the first time, obviously not earning very much, certainly not compared to what I used to earn, so that just hasn't been possible. Well, the good news this time around is that I was able to lease. I mean, someone called me, I met at a car show a while ago, called me Mr. Leasing, probably because my channel name's so unmemorable and I do a lot of leasing content. They called me Mr. Leasing, and it's always irked me that since I've had this channel, I haven't been able to actually lease a car. We had a lease car when I started it, but I haven't been able to get one since, and it's been really annoying, and I feel like a bit of a hypocrite at times. So it was brilliant that I've been able to lease this. I haven't done it through the business or anything. I've done it personally. Loads of possible cars it could have been, cars that I've absolutely adored. I did ideally want something small again, because a lot of the time I'm driving around in a press car, and when I've got a press car, I need to drive it as often as possible, because I want to give you as good a sort of round up review of the car as possible. I don't want to drive it for 10 minutes and then try and do a car review with it, because it won't be a great deal of use to anyone. But there are periods where I don't have one booked in, and it's good to have a second car. And I do have a fair amount of travel with this job, if you can call it a job. And you know, there always needs to be something else here, so my wife can get around and we can ferry the kids around and all that kind of stuff. So when I look back at the cars that I've really loved driving in the last few years, there are quite a few of them, but ones that stand out would be like the latest Honda Civic. I think is an exceptional car. I think it's a brilliant chassis. It's just a great car all around, and it won't cost you the earth to run either. There's some amazing stuff. Things like the 𝘼𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 I was blown away by. Did a long European trip in that, and it was exceptional. The Polestar 2, I've really enjoyed my time with the Polestar 2. Loads of cars that could be on the list. Obviously, I've got a Tesla Model Y at the moment, and as much as I'd love the Model 3, I mean, the amount of abuse and stuff I've had from videos on that Model Y. It started off with people all calling me a virtue signalling lefty, and saying I'm trying to save the planet, and I don't know, all sorts of things that were thrown at me. And actually I just got the car because really suited our needs. And I love the Model 3. Like, the Model 3, I still think is one of the best all-electric cars available on the market, in terms of the way it drives, in terms of what it offers, in terms of the price. I think as a whole package, it's a brilliant piece of kit. But I thought, God, if I get another Tesla, if I've got 2 Teslas sitting on the drive, I'm going to get no end of aggro from morons. And the comments will be coming thick and fast. I thought, oh, that's going to feed the algorithm. So I got one. So here it is. So this is a car that I can't afford in normal circumstances. There's absolutely no way I'd be able to swap that for that. It just wouldn't happen. But these are not normal circumstances. I talked about this incredibly impressive deal that I'd got on this car, and you'll find out a lot more about it tomorrow. But this is just the rear-wheel drive, standard range, 2025 Tesla Model Y. Have I got the app open? Yes, I have. So we can see inside. It's really nice in here, not unpleasant at all. The build quality that everyone goes on about in Teslas that's never got in one or owned one is exceptional. It's very well put together. All the gaps are right. We've got no stalks on this one, so to go into drive, we do it up here. To go into reverse, we do it here. And then we tap. And it's a design that's like wildly controversial, and it's also something that takes at least 12 minutes to get used to. Obviously, with this being the new one, you've also got a screen in the back there, which I'm sure will delight my kids. We've got a cavernous boot. I don't know how well this comes out on the camera, but it goes back a long way, a really long way, and you've got a big storage area there. The only restriction here really is the height, because it's not a hatch boot. You know, you're not going to get really tall objects in there, but I really like the design. I think they've made what was a bit of an ugly duckling look a hell of a lot better. People say you can't polish a turd. Well, I think they've polished a turd relatively well. The horn's a bit weak on this, I've noticed. It's a bit but there you go, it's great. There will of course be lots of people that say, well, I'd never get a Tesla simply because I dislike Elon Musk. And I think more power to them. Like, I respect that completely. Everyone's got the right to have an opinion. I don't like the guy. However, that's my favourite car that's in any way conceivably attainable for me at the moment, and therefore I've got one. I mean, I've got an iPhone here, and we know what goes on with Apple, or what we're told goes on with Apple manufacturing. For all I know, Tim Cook may interfere with goats or something, but he owns a relatively small percentage of the business, and it's a business that employs thousands of people and produces actually the best phone you can get, which is why I like it. It's the best phone I can get for my money, in my opinion. I shopped in Sainsbury's yesterday, and for all I know, the CEO of Sainsbury's might currently be clubbing a baby seal to death. Not a practice that I'd be a particular fan of, but I actually quite like the shops, so that's where I tend to go. But the important thing here, folks, is I've got a car that I really wanted at a price that I can absolutely afford. And the price is absolutely unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you more about that in tomorrow's video. So stay tuned. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Give this one a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.